Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to board meeting. Today, on board meeting, we are playing not only one of my absolute favorite games, but
my gosh,
one of my absolute favorite games based on one of my absolute favorite film properties. So, today we are going to be playing. Chris, could you hand me the cover of the game? That'd be great. Today we are going to be playing The Thing, Infection at Outpost 31.
hell yeah.
So this game is a pretty kick-ass board game based on the John Carpenter iteration of The Thing, which came out in 85?
82.
82.
From the classic summer of 82.
I mean, yes, which is like a hell of a year.
It was a hell of a year. We had The Thing, we had Blade Runner, we had Star Trek 2.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, there were so many. I think the Goonies was 85. Maybe Tron? No, Tron was 80. I can't remember. But yeah, it was like, there were so many like nerdy genre classics that came out in 82. It was great.
E.T.?
E.T., yes.
Yeah, E.T. was
yes,
summer of 82.
Actually ties into this because a lot of people... Okay, I'll go into my Thing spiel because I love The Thing.
So give us a little background about
yes.
The Thing as a...
And I did write about this in my book, The 100 Greatest Cult Films, now available.
Check it out.
Check it out. But when The Thing came out, it wasn't a big hit. It was not a big hit at all. It's since become a cult classic. It was actually kind of a notorious bomb, and people kind of blamed E.T. on that. They said, "Oh, people just want cutesy little aliens." Whereas this is this horrific, like, body horror, gory, terrifying science fiction film about aliens taking over people and trying to take over the world and stuff. But The Thing was based on kind of two sources. You have the John W. Campbell story, Who Goes There, which was the original short story that spawned this narrative. And then in the 1950s, and I don't remember exactly when in the 1950s it came out. I want to say it was like 54?
50, I think it's 55.
55? Okay. There was a film version called The Thing from Another World, which was produced by Howard Hawks and directed by, I can't remember the guy's name, Robert something or other. But a lot of people think that Howard Hawks himself stepped in and did a lot of the directing on the film. But it had James Arness, and it's really good flick. And then John Carpenter came out with this in 1982 with special effects by the legendary Rob Bottin, who did all the sort of creepy, gory, slimy stuff.
Can I intervene for just a minute?
Yes.
Kelsey, can you move that camera? Like shift turn the whole arm.
Should I move?
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
A
little bit more.
I forgot because
I see your arm.
Turn it a little bit more. There we go. Now we've got Chris and Janelle. There we go. Awesome. Thank you.
Yay.
So, when this film came out, as I was telling the group beforehand, the movie, I really think it's probably like the best H.P. Lovecraft film not based on an H.P. Lovecraft story, because it's all about this like unknowable horror from outer space coming down to Earth and driving people mad with paranoia and whatnot. And it has since become like a cult classic. Interestingly, it was kind of like when Carpenter released Halloween, which is like his big movie, there was a nod to The Thing.
Yeah, it's
because the scene where the two little kids are watching the late night movie, they're watching The Thing. And so that kind of like, showed Carpenter's interest in this story. Yeah. And it's great. It's one of the best, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the best movies of all time. I love it.
So I'm going to give a little summary of kind of what the film is about, so we have kind of the context for working our way through
We
that.
do have the...
do we want to read the
situation.
Okay, go for it.
Do you want to?
Yeah,
read
I'll read that. That sounds
keep
great.
Setting up the board here.
Okay.
I have to...
Tell us, Chairman.
All right. So, Outpost 31, Antarctica, 1,000 miles from nowhere, the first goddamn week of winter, 1982. Stir-crazy Norwegians shooting first at a dog and then at you. Their base, not unlike yours, left a ruin littered with strange research notes and stranger carcasses. a 100,000-year-old alien vessel uncovered out in the ice. Then some thing attacked your dogs, and you put it down. But that was only the beginning. Power fluctuations, missing tools, shredded clothes, equipment destroyed. All of that pales next to the preliminary conclusion of your scientist. At least one of you is probably already being impersonated by this life form. You may not know who to trust, but you do know what is out there, in the dark. The thing is waiting for you to make a mistake. But what if it's already in here with you?
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
the film follows a group of scientists at Outpost 31 doing various...
Scientists, medical officers, pilots.
all kinds of people
Yes.
doing various scientific things out
They
at...
never really say what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you do at an Antarctic research
Yeah.
post. And,
I was gonna say
You know
graduate
about
students that don't know what they got themselves into.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then the blue collar guys who work alongside them to help
Yeah.
them make sure they don't freeze to death.
Right.
You know.
So
Me.
the movie opens with a helicopter chasing a dog across the Antarctic Open, which is the crazy Norwegians that they reference, who end up coming
dog?
down in a terrible crash. No, the
Oh,
helicopter. The dog turns out to be an alien life form, capable of infecting and impersonating perfectly any creature it comes in contact with.
Oh, okay. That's what my dog is made out of.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing
Before.
is capable of infecting an individual, and their cells overtake yours. And what will happen is basically it will consume you and become exactly like you.
Huh.
That also means that while the thing needs some time and a quiet place to do that, if it were ever to get back to civilization, it would be the end of humankind as we understand it, because the thing would simply just spread
Sure.
forever.
As detailed in the film by Wilford Brimley's amazing 1980s computer program
Oh,
that can like
it's
come up with
so,
this algorithm.
It's so fucking dope,
fantastic.
by the way.
Oh, dude, that's
This movie's really a great watch.
It is so good.
So the goal of this game is to escape Outpost 31 in the helicopter by collecting a number of basic pieces of equipment,
Nice.
fighting and defeating the thing, and getting away without taking any people who have been infected by the thing with you to civilization. Each of us is going to be dealt a blood sample card. These cards have a normal condition on them, which indicates... We're actually not using that camera yet, so this one should try...
Sorry.
That's okay. Each of these cards either has a human or an imitation on it, indicating that you are either human or, in fact, the thing.
Those aren't blood types.
That's true. The
These
only...
are alien blood types.
Imitation human.
In the film, the only way they determine to test whether or not you're the thing is that the thing's, since each cell of the thing's body is in fact an individual organism that comes together, it reacts to a violent threat. So if you take a piece of hot metal, heat it, and stuff it into the blood sample that belongs to the thing, the cells react themselves violently. So that's the one way you can test.
In one of the greatest scenes in
Interesting.
cinema history, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm completely with you on that. I fucking adore this movie. So let's go over the rules of the game a little bit and see exactly how everything works out. So we have basically set up the board, yes?
Basically, we're getting there. I have to put. I'm trying to remember how to put these out because these just go in in one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then the 2s and 2 and 3s and 3. Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yes. Now that I'm thinking about it, it is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But the board is our outpost. This is Outpost 31. It's the Arctic Research Station.
So for 5 players, we need 4 human and 1 imitation blood sample.
And I've got those, and I shuffled them up.
Oh, so is the joke that he's always the thing just
Because
because
he's
he
always
always
the thing.
ends up getting an infected card?
Statistically,
Except for when we were at MPCA,
That's true.
and I was not.
yeah, and I got
Wow,
duped
that's
by
one
the
time.
thing, and then
Well, there've been.
I've played this game 4 or 5 times with him, and I think that I have always believed him to be the thing. I may not have always been right about that, but you know.
Good enough. It's like you being Princess Tofu.
Yes, exactly. I feel like I'm always Princess Tofu. It's true.
It's because you are the illustrious Princess Tofu yourself.
Now I want a
Huge
mashup of The Thing and Princess Tofu.
Oh God.
Princess Thing.
Okay,
Everybody looks like Princess Tofu, but only one is actually the thing.
That really complicates
That's
that
a
game.
good crossover.
I like that.
As the staff of U.S. Outpost 31
Alright, so
struggles
I'm
to
gonna pass
clear
these
out the
apples.
base and track down the thing, they must follow up on their log entries, which offer clues to the location of the valuable gear they will need to escape, as well as where the thing might be lurking. Terrified and unable to trust each other, the leadership of the group never lies with anyone for very long. Alright, so each turn, one player ends up in possession of the gun, and that makes them the captain for the turn. Alright?
Okay.
There it is.
When playing...
I will say this about
I
The
am the
Thing.
captain.
It is a very manly film. There's not a woman in the movie.
That's true.
And it is very, like, ultra masculine.
Yeah,
It's
that's...
super 80s.
It is very 80s.
There were no women in the 80s, actually. Yeah, women got
That's
invented in the
We were very lonely men in the 80s.
Spice
and-
Girls in the 90s.
Well, we were
part of
lonely
the,
and
like,
really
the
gay.
inventing
That's
process.
right,
yeah.
I mean, it's just like...
establishing
definitely
some ground.
known.
Yes.
Right. When playing the thing Infection at Outpost 31, talking about the current situation is not only expected, but encouraged. Players will share information, which may or may not be true, and the captain solicits volunteers to handle specific tasks. Chatter makes the game, so don't be shy, be sly. In the end, table talk is all you have to go on. The captain has to make decisions during the turn based on what they believe, and players have to do their best to unravel who isn't quite human anymore. Now, the deal is that as the thing, you want to escape. So you want to end up on...
Or you don't want anyone else to escape.
Right. You either want... So there's basically one way for the humans to win. If they get on the helicopter and get away without the thing. The thing wins if the thing gets away on the helicopter with you, or if the thing does a sufficient amount of damage to the installation to prevent any of you from escaping.
Because
All right.
rooms will burn and we will
I
lose
see that.
things. Yes.
You
Well,
know-
these are the things we need to find.
Chris, you say
Oh,
Robomofo
okay.
says a thing. We don't know the gender of the alien. The thing
True.
could be a lady thing.
I feel like
Or-
that's kind of offensive if it is.
I feel like
the
it's-
only
Yeah, that-
woman
Well, I was
is
gonna
the
say, I
thing.
feel like the thing is gender nonconforming.
I think I'm with you on that.
I mean, it's literally called the thing, but I
Maybe-
mean,
Comes from a
Maybe
that's
that's
also
non-binary
very
It's about the
insulting.
thing that's just a bit-
trying to-
Let's
yes,
just point out
exactly.
the problems with that.
Now that's 80s.
Yes.
That's 80s.
I've heard like several different interpretations of the film, including one that it's like an allegory for AIDS, even though like
Oh.
the AIDS crisis hadn't gone full like
Full-
mainstream
Yeah.
by that point.
Yeah.
But I've also heard it's like a challenge to like Reaganism and communism and all these other things. It's one of those movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers where there's like all these different interpretations that
Yeah.
it lends itself to. It's very polysemous text.
Yeah.
I mean, the word
Oh.
thing is like the most like I can project whatever I want onto
Oh, yeah.
that
Exactly.
word.
Oh,
Like, that
100%.
literally exists. It's
You know,
called the
yeah.
thing.
Its insidious, shape-shifting nature, like,
Yeah.
That's like the
Yeah.
whole, like, it opens the idea of the entire work of horror. Like, it is
Absolutely.
every fear all at once.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's like in Harry Potter. What am I thinking of?
Dementor?
Yeah.
No, the ones that hide
yeah,
on
the
the...
boggart, the
Oh,
boggart.
Boggarts, yeah.
That makes more sense.
Were you here for Lunch Zone yesterday?
This also
Yes.
makes
Where's
me
my
think.
book?
Oh, I don't know where your book
Can
is.
somebody bring that in?
I was here. I don't know where your book is.
Because
Though.
I was going to share that too.
It's
Well,
Might
Xenophobia.
be
That
here.
was the other thing. I was like, this could be an L.
Is that it?
for-
That's it. That's
There it
it.
is.
Being
Excellent.
afraid
So
of
I'll
the
talk about
other.
this later.
All right. So, in addition to investigation, so the basic way the game is played is by gathering teams and launching investigations. All right. We will use the mission log in order to determine who is going where and doing what. In order to we have to collect a certain number of resources and accomplish a couple of things. This chart tells us the progress of the game. We have to locate the thing once and collect some rope before we can leave the first sector, which is denoted by these number ones. We then have to fight the thing again and collect some dynamite before we can leave the second area. And then we have to beat the thing twice and get a flamethrower before we can leave the third area. Once we have accomplished all of these objectives, we can escape with anyone who remains alive. However, If we mess up fighting the thing, or if we cause damage, slowly the kind of doomsday counter will move across the board, and if we reach the 7th token on it, it will end the game in failure for the human players.
So this is like 100 seconds of midnight right here.
Basically, yes.
So it's like my literal life.
That's where we are. I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay, so one of us is the thing, right?
Yes.
Are more than one of us the thing?
Only one of us is the thing
To start.
to start with.
To start
I
with.
feel
It
like
is-
we can be infected by the thing.
Okay.
It is
okay,
possible at certain strategic points during the course of the game that more blood sample cards can get dealt out.
Okay.
Yes.
If a human player receives an infected blood
Then
sample
they're-
card at a later point in the game, they become the thing.
So then, and the other thing wouldn't know that that person is now also a thing.
Exactly.
So then the
So
other
much
thing
like
that I no,
It is.
the other
It's
thing
very
that I have a
much
question
like
about is then,
Which is why
so
I
if we're
wanna play that one.
defeating the thing in these 3 different stages, is there also like an outside of my body thing
Yes.
that I'm recognizing?
So
Okay.
there are, Chris, can you pass me those little the thing tokens,
Yeah.
please? There are some monstrous creatures.
Okay.
This
that-
is literally Arkham, but with the thing. So, and also the subtitle to Arkham is, I think, the Cthulhu Mysterium. So
Probably.
perfect. But yes, keep
Yeah,
going.
so these are monstrous versions of the things based on some of the most impressive of the practical effects done in the film that are creatures that we have to defeat out in the outpost
Okay.
that count as our objectives here. Yeah, so we got these guys.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
and we'll
looks like
face
that, though.
like so in the first area we face the dog thing. Because there is a particularly horrifying scene in the film where a dog is revealed to be the thing.
I hate it.
And then in the second room, we fight the
head
head
thing.
where a person's head turns into a thing creature. And then in the last room, we face one or both of the Blair monsters. The character of Blair, played by Wilford Brimley in the film,
Blair's
is,
not a girl. Okay.
no,
Also,
is revealed to be
Still no women.
yeah.
Still no women.
Still no women.
Confirmed.
Okay.
That, ugh, gross.
More questions?
No, I was just gonna add.
No.
No, it's not a question. I was just gonna add something about just the concept, but it's not important.
Those,
No, what were you gonna
those
say?
creatures
Well,
look so Resident Evil.
I listened to this podcast called Lore
Mm-hmm.
by Aaron Mahnke, and I just listened to an episode where they talked about parasites.
Oh,
And
gross,
yeah,
I didn't hear
I'll
that.
just put out right there that I'll just drop some fun parasite facts while we're
Oh,
playing.
please,
this
yes,
game.
that's great. I would love some parasite facts.
So gross.
Makes
I'll
me
infect
happy.
you with them.
I mean, the thing
Aw.
is very much like a parasite.
yeah,
Yes.
well, that's what it was making me think of primarily, which is that like what we know about parasites is very little, and what we know about parasites is research that was done like not very long ago, or a long time ago, but nothing really else has come out. So like. Basically, we know that parasites are like a thing that will feed off of you
A
and
thing,
kill
right?
you, and that's about it.
And that is the end of our.
And then I was like, "It's this. It's just this. Is this
Yes.
the research?"
I mean, that's not an inaccurate assertion there. Okay, so we need to pick our players.
Cool.
There are 3 colors of players based on all the characters in the film. Certain missions, which I will flip over all the men in the film, certain missions will require different colors of character to come along with them. So we need to split what jobs we do pretty evenly to prevent us from over specializing in one thing. Remember that if, let's say, we only have one yellow figure, and yellow missions come up frequently, that person is going to be coming along a lot. If they happen to be the thing, they may be able to sabotage what's going on, to attack us, to mess with things, and try to prevent our escape.
Yikes.
So we need to be careful about how much we rely on individuals. The captain gets to make the decision about who comes along on any given mission, but they can listen to the pleas, discussions, persuasions of the rest of the table. So we need to pick who all we're going to play.
So I would like to pick first, if I may, just because I would like to be Clark. Because in the film, Clark is accused of being the thing and proved
That he was
not
not.
the thing.
All right, that seems fitting.
Really?
I mean, you still might be the thing though.
Still might be the thing.
I don't
I very
guess,
well
yeah.
could.
What
but
a
I'm just
thing
saying,
thing to do.
because
The
everybody
thing to do is to pick the innocent one.
for our viewers, the running joke is that I'm always the thing. and I'm not.
You're
It
not-
will bring me such joy if you're the thing.
If
No.
Like
yeah.
after that whole
It will bring me
narrative.
such joy if I'm not.
Yeah, you should look at your own secretly. You should look at your own blood test
Yes.
secretly to determine
Check
whether or not
yourself.
you are the thing.
Know yourself.
Quickly, can I ask for a definition of each of our colors and what the classes are?
Yes. So the yellow characters are maintenance characters who are
Yes.
responsible for maintenance and upkeep of the base.
So Clark is the dog handler.
Oh,
Childs is the mechanic.
nice.
Palmer is the assistant mechanic, and McCready is the pilot, played by Kurt Russell in the film, the
Yes.
star of the
Cool.
movie.
He's gorgeous
got-
too.
He
I was about
has
to say, like,
he has an amazing hat. Let's see if I
He's
can-
a man.
Little,
got
almost like,
married.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's good. You got it.
yeah.
That's what's up.
Hi, Carrie.
Carrie says, agrees with me. She's like, watch out, Chris is always the thing.
See,
So,
I told you.
Substantiated.
That's why I'm
yes.
Clark. See everybody, Clark.
Yeah, well,
So-
that's a terrible thing to say, though.
was not the
That's
thing.
terrible.
the green characters are the science characters who do
Okay.
various scientific activity.
So we have a geologist, an assistant biologist, a meteorologist,
Nice.
and Wilford Brimley as the senior biologist.
Okay.
He can examine your diabetes.
Nah,
Diabetes.
And then lastly, we have the blue characters who are the ops characters. They perform all the operations and administrative roles in the group.
So we have
Alright.
Knowles, who is the cook.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
We have Gary, who is the commander. We have Windows, who's the radio operator. And then we have Copper, who is the doctor.
Copper doctor.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
So,
yeah.
Dr. Copper.
yeah, you get to choose any one of them you want.
I want to be a scientist.
You want to be a scientist?
Yeah. So I look at the scientist cards.
Yes.
I want
There
to
you go.
pick the one that looks the
Do these
smartest.
do different things?
They
Like the
do if
characters
you're the
Actually,
captain.
Okay.
Each character
This
has a
side.
captain
I'm
power.
vibing with him.
So when you get the captain, when you get the gun, this
Assistant
will allow you to
biologist.
do
Yes.
this
I see.
Fuchs.
and one
Okay.
of these
All
two
right.
things.
Okay.
I also. Oh, you know what? No, I'm gonna be a meteorologist.
I
That
know.
sounds
Dope.
so cool.
If nobody has any objection, I think
First goddamn week of winter.
I'm gonna play Copper.
No. Okay, go ahead.
No, if you want to
No,
play,
no, no,
that's
no. I know
fine.
who I'm gonna play then instead.
Because I just like being
So we have a green,
We have one of
yellow.
each
a
now.
yellow,
and a blue.
and a.
So we have one of each now. So now all you
Yeah, we
need.
have a green.
Oh, you're a green.
Yep.
You're green.
We have one of each. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and take us into the board play now and get this
Yeah.
lined up on the board so that we can kind of see
Yes, what's up?
what is going on.
So
This
I
actually
Do you want to look at
forces
these
it
before you
to
choose?
be
While everybody's
only one.
choosing, I do just want to show off this. I think I can do. This is the book that kind of inspired us to play this right now. I wrote a review of this game for the Pop Culture Studies Journal a while back. I don't remember exactly which issue it's in. I've been looking for it. But this book is great. It's gameplay by Paul Booth. It's all about paratextuality in contemporary board games. He looks at board games as paratexts. And he has a lot of really interesting examples that he uses. He's got one chapter where he looks at Arkham Horror. There's a chapter on Lord of the Rings, The Walking Dead, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, and Doctor Who. And a lot of the ideas in this book, I feel like, really apply to the thing, especially this idea that like paratextual board games are successful when they really like capture the feel of the thing that they're based on, of the text that they're based on, where they really like translate the world of the film into this other medium. And I think The Thing, for me at least, The Thing does a great job of it, because there have been times when I played it and you do get a little paranoid. You're just like, I think you're the thing. I think you're the thing. And so I just wanted to like show this book for anybody who might be interested in reading it. It's a really good read. Paul's a great guy. I studied under him at DePaul University. So.
Cool. That's really cool. Can I say something really quick about
Please.
that? Just responding to that. So that's so interesting because like what a parasite is, like that idea of a parasite is it is a site that does what the thing does, where
Oh
it's
my.
like something that feeds off of you to then become you and can spread throughout you. And so it latches onto a site, which is often you, right? Or like the whatever it's latching onto
Right.
in order to then become that thing. In the same way that it sounds like paratext, like a good paratext is like to latch on and become. And so it's kind of like this interesting
That's
play
super
on
cool.
words where it's like we're dealing with a story that's talking about a parasite and what happens, but in doing that, we're also playing almost like on a parasite.
Yeah.
This is a site that
I like
has
that.
parodied what like the original text is asking us to think
Is this
about.
where we are?
Nice.
I think that is a beautiful
Yes.
way of explaining that and walking through that connection. That is super dope.
Yeah.
And our first parasite fact of the day.
Hey!
Oh.
Oh God, I shouldn't have fallen asleep while I was listening to that. My facts are running low.
Now, so here's one thing that we should point out for people, because if you are the thing, you, like Dave said, you want to try to either escape or prevent everybody else from escaping. So when we go on missions, you can sabotage those missions. But your goal is to do it without letting anyone know
That you're
who the
sabotaging.
thing is.
Right.
You really want to be as surreptitious as possible about it.
If you tell people or if you give away too easily that you're the thing, some of the items, including the rope and the flamethrower, can be used to tie you up or to incinerate you and like straight up prevent you from being able to escape.
Right.
So that is a circumstance. All right, so one thing I want to do is I want to reveal to the audience, but not to each other, which of us is or is not the thing.
Oh, that is so spicy,
We were
and I
talking about
love
this
it.
So
before.
here's what I think we want to do.
It's
Everybody-
like third-person narration.
So we'll go around the table.
We'll go around the table. I'll start, and we'll
all
go
close
left.
our eyes.
And then whoever doesn't have their eyes closed will reveal their card to the audience, and we'll go from there. So
Okay, really quick, where should I hold my card up to when I do that?
when you do any one of the 4 cameras is fine. This camera is probably the best one.
Oh, this is on now. Oh, okay.
Yes,
oh.
this is on now.
Okay.
Because this will
Sorry, friends,
make
I'm
it
just
more
like-
interesting
yeah.
where the audience, it'll be like a Hitchcockian kind of
Right,
thing.
they'll
If
know
it's
which
another
one of us
character.
is
Yeah.
getting
It's
this.
that
Oh,
idea
no,
of like
spicy.
you see the
Oh.
bomb
I like
under the
this.
chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go first. So all y'all
It's good.
clamp those
So,
eyes
will you
shut.
then tell me when.
I will tell you when to do, and then of course do my own thing. All right, here we go. So audience, that is me. All right, Janelle, I am done. It is your turn.
Hello, audience. This is me. Alright. Card is down, eyes are closed. You're up, Chris.
All right.
The thing.
Let's see. Where can I? And so there I am, ladies and gentlemen.
Now remember, audience, that we are going to be looking at chat, so
So
Can
please
I go?
don't spoil it.
feed
for
our
people.
paranoia.
Yeah, can I go
but
first?
do
Yeah.
not.
Oh, no.
All right, I'm done. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Kelsey, you're up.
Okay, everybody. This is me. Okay. Okay, you're good to go.
Okay. All right. This is my truest self.
I believe it.
Definitely
All right.
a thing.
All right, we
Okay,
good?
Nobody look
All
at
right,
chat for a
we're
second.
good? Yeah.
Nobody look at.
Okay.
I'm
I
sorry, I
think we're
didn't
good.
tell you. I'm sorry, I'm bad.
Oh my god, Ryan's just gonna feed our paranoia so hard.
So, really quick,
Ooh,
before we get
snap.
like hardcore started, I'm gonna just step outside really quick and blow my nose.
That is fine.
All
Do
right.
your
It would
thing.
be really rude.
Well, one thing we'll do now is we'll start going around and rolling to see who goes first,
Okay.
because we have to roll 2 dice, right? And the highest
Yes.
person becomes the captain.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right, so I'm gonna put these here for
That's
now.
some dumb
Here, I've got a napkin
Okay,
in this
good.
thing.
So I got an 8.
Yay.
Yikes.
I got a 10.
Ooh, nice job.
Okay.
What you guys don't
I got a
know is
7.
that I'm baller at bar dice, so I never lose.
Gonna go with a nice, quiet little 5.
I can't believe you all just going to let her leave your site like that.
I really wish, if there wasn't like a copyright thing, I really wish we could have the Ennio Morricone score from the thing playing right now.
fucking
because
dope.
So good.
that score is so good.
Yes, I'm
Alright,
completely with
Christine,
you.
take those two.
One of the few John
die
Carpenter
and roll.
movies where the
Okay,
score was not written by Carpenter himself.
True.
Yes.
We're just rolling to see who goes first. You gotta beat a 10.
No, that's totally fine. Okay, so
9.
Nine.
All right, so
Okay.
Kelsey is the captain.
I am
So
Captain
you get the
America.
gun the first time, and then we pass the gun around.
Okay.
Okay.
For each turn, after
Will
each
there
turn.
be any point where they both reach for the gun?
Where who both reaches for both of them?
The gun,
It's
the
very
gun, the gun, the
possible.
gun, the gun, the gun.
Well, there are
Stupid
cards
reference. I'm
and-
so sorry.
No, but I love these schools, so it's okay. I got it. Like.
Oh, you're talking Chicago.
I was.
There
So
are
wait a second.
definitely circumstances where there will be contests for leadership of the group.
Mhm.
So,
Ooh.
Like we can.
Okay.
While Christine's getting ready, we at MPCA we had a situation like that because we played this at MPCA. We had 8 people playing. Everybody thought again I was the thing, and I think I got either tied up or shot.
You got tied up.
I got tied up.
We left.
And
you
then
behind.
everybody left, and it turned out the thing was the person who was the quietest throughout the entire game, and
Nice.
she managed to escape.
4 of us got on that
yeah.
helicopter. 3 of us were human. 1 of us was the thing, and it was her. She fucked us so hard.
But there were points where people were like jockeying for leadership.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm so excited.
it definitely happened. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and run through a round about how this kind of all comes together.
Okay.
So we need to deal out the supply cards, right? How's
Uh,
that go?
yes, it's 5 for each person, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so I've shuffled them already.
Yay.
I know.
And it's gonna be stuck in my head for like the next 6 years, but it's okay.
Sorry,
I'm
I
sorry.
forgot the song Everybody.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Move your butt. We were
Can I
talking
look
about
at
like
my
98
supplies?
degrees and like
Backstreet's
dream
Back.
and
Yes.
Backstreet's back.
Now the thing with the supplies, the thing about the supplies is for each mission, the captain will want to ask people if they have certain things in their supply stuff, and certain things will be more useful in this context than other things.
No, it's you should take your cards though.
And you can put your supply cards like here on your card if you want to.
That's nice.
So,
Yeah, the design in this game.
depending on what the mission is, we'll have certain objectives that we'll want to achieve with dice or that we'll need certain supplies for. The captain will ask people who will, without revealing the cards, say, I can give you X, Y, or Z. And again, if you're not the thing, will you tell the truth? If you are the thing, will you not tell the truth? Or will you?
Though sometimes it is beneficial if you are human to lie.
Oh.
Because you may suspect someone else of being in the party of being the thing, and so you might want to try to out them that way.
It's true.
Or sabotage their efforts to sabotage
So let's just jump right in and see kind of what we can accomplish. So I'm going to flip over this first mission log.
My mission log.
All right, so Kelsey, this is a 4-player team, so you have to bring at least 4 people.
you. And
one of them needs to be a green player.
For other people or for
4
Four
total.
total.
She need-
you
and
can bring all 5,
Oh, okay, I see.
but
I
you need a
understand.
minimum of 4.
Okay, that's helpful because
Oh, there were probably
is
cards
just
that I
one.
should take out of there.
No, there's 2. There's just
Were
one.
there?
Because I think there are
Operative.
6.
Oh,
More
yes.
or-
Go and find those.
So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to take all the 6-player teams and I'll
Okay.
reshuffle everything.
Okay. So then, let's see here. Gathers a team for the mission. Let's see here.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
No, it's totally fine. So, Kelsey, I'm going to what this mission is asking you to do. So you have to bring exactly. I think you bring exactly 4 players, not you bring because there are 4 to 5 players. It's exactly 4 players.
Okay.
You need to bring 1 green, and your goal is to reveal all the cards, all the supplies that everybody puts into the center. If you have an axe and a petri dish, you succeed. So what you're going to do is you're going to nominate who you want to bring with, and then you're going to ask everybody, all right, we need axes and petri dishes. And people are going to tell you, oh, I can give you this or that or this or that. And then we're all going to put our cards in face down. You're going to shuffle them around so you don't know whose is whose, flip them over, and see if we succeed at the mission. If we do, we get to pick one of these rooms that we're
Well, we have to pick
investigating.
a room first.
Yeah, we have to pick and then we flip the token over to see which of the various items that we get.
Or,
If we might have to fight the thing.
yeah.
In which case we use our supplies to roll dice against the thing.
Okay, cool.
So first off, choose who you want to bring with you.
Okay, well, I'm lucky because I already have a petri dish.
Cool.
So I'm looking for an axe.
Give me a second while I...
So are you
Shuffle,
just like
sorry.
asking? I just don't want to like do the wrong thing, but it's like, is this a thing where it's like people can say like, oh, I have that, like,
Yeah.
you should,
Yes.
like-
Yeah, you can.
You,
Oh, okay.
you can
And
say
Especially
that and
even if you don't have it and like you want to sabotage,
that would be
you
the
can
time
just
to
be
do it.
like,
I have an axe.
Well, no,
That was really like
that was real
performative.
intense.
Oh, I have an axe.
I mean, to be fair, I'm holding one, so like,
That's
obviously,
yeah.
I do not
Jimmy
have
Kimmel and his
That is
statue.
okay.
that was so
It's like
good.
scaring people.
That was
greatest thing I've
beautiful.
ever seen.
What?
That's such a gift. Jimmy Kimmel scared his cousin with his wax statue.
Oh.
Constantly. It was amazing.
Amazing.
Like 5 minutes of just cuts of her freaking out. It's amazing.
Perfect.
So, Kelsey, I do not have an axe. I have a petri dish, but since you already have a petri dish, you probably don't need me. So you could leave me behind.
And I have neither.
I have both. But you only need one.
You do have to bring exactly
You
4
have to
people,
bring
and you have to bring one of the 2 green folk.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I'm gonna choose. You both said you had an axe, though. Yours was not as believable.
Okay.
as zombie. So I'm
Okay.
gonna say I'll pick Janelle. But I still might bring you anyways, because he said he didn't have an axe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, and you have to still have to bring a total of 4 people.
Yeah, I have to. So.
And is it just one of each? Like 1 axe and 1 petri dish?
That's
Yeah.
all
Have
you
an
need.
axe
Each of the
and
4
a
players will
petri dish.
put a card down,
Sure,
and you need to
yeah.
have you reveal all 4 of the cards. You need to have 1 axe and 1 petri dish.
Okay,
It
I
can
have
be
a
more
question.
than that.
Okay, that was my question.
It can be more than that, but it needs to be minimum of 1. Some missions will say flip over 2 cards, and if you have a knife and a gun, then you win. So you'll need to have more than 1 of each to have a better chance of
I
succeeding.
understand. Okay, so
Okay,
in
so
this
it's
case,
harder.
we're flipping over all the cards.
Right.
now.
So you only
So
need
it matters
1.
less, I guess, if
So
I know for sure.
Who
I have
else do you
one.
want to bring?
Okay, I'm gonna bring Janelle. I'm gonna bring. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names. What's your
Christine.
name? Christine. I
Yeah.
will bring Christine, and I will bring. Let's bring Dave.
Okay, so we're leaving Chris behind.
Leaving
That's
the
all right.
thing behind.
I'll chill out with my pupper.
All right, what? All right,
That's cute. I heard some
Kelsey,
crazy
what
shit about that
room-
dog, though.
which of these rooms, the shed, the vehicle building, the kennel, the common office, the manager's office, or the storage room do you want to go to? Any one of them.
That real hard. I'm going to say vehicle building.
All right, so all of us but Clark. We need to watch Clark.
Yeah, I know.
Clark.
Nice doggo, though.
It is it's my little doggo.
So we're gonna go over there.
He's a good
All right.
boy.
So now we put all our supplies down. Just anywhere on the table's good. So
Face down, face up.
face down because they'll all be mixed.
That's right.
Yeah. 'cause
So
you're gonna
Kelsey,
give
just so
him
you
the
know that I'm
custody.
telling the truth, I'm putting a knife in the group.
Okay.
So when you
So-
see that knife,
Putting
you'll
a
know
knife
it's
in
me.
your
Can I
back
just-
is what he's
Since this is the first round, I'm just gonna ask like a strat
Please
question.
ask.
So, I have an axe. Like, I'm just a weirdo, and that's how I talk. But no, it's okay. It's totally fine.
I'm not being sarcastic. No.
But so would it
Just
make
a
sense for me to
kitchen
put it in? Because
Well, I mean, if you don't trust Janelle to actually have an
that's
axe,
what I
then
was
it would.
thinking.
Yes.
It's like, would it make
When
sense?
have
It's
I
like we don't
ever
really
left
know
an
it.
axe
Like,
at home and I said I was going to bring it?
I don't know. It's like
All right.
based on like my recent memory, you always have your axe.
That's
I
what I'm
guess.
saying.
So
like,
that's
why
that's
wouldn't I
going to be
buy
the
it now?
trick. Is you're going to have to start
navigate
figuring
that.
out
Okay.
how you want to navigate the
Exactly what I
spaces,
was gonna
depending on who you think the thing is.
Okay.
So Kelsey,
Right,
mix
now I
those
don't
cards
have
up
any
so you
idea.
don't have any idea whose is whose, and then flip all 4 of them.
Juggling axes. Whose axe is this?
We find it's a good strategy to tell the
axe.
captain
Petri dish,
what you're
axe,
contributing.
Okay.
So that you, and then that way you can kind of try to build trust with them and do
Yeah.
whatever.
So you're accountable.
But you don't have to do that. That's just something we've developed as a strategy. So, for example, I said I was giving a knife,
Yeah.
and there's
Did.
one knife.
And
in
you
there.
that
both
axe.
did give the axe, so
I did.
like,
We're
hey
axle.
thing, ha, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's all the
It might-
experiments we need
it
to do.
might be a little
I'm
too
good
early.
side.
I'm already that
To
noble.
start revealing
I'm
who the thing
Kurt
is.
Russell.
Really a
Yes.
thing.
So
Thing
it
to
could
say.
also, though, if the thing gets on the helicopter with us, then we still lose.
Right, that is true.
So,
So, can we
all right.
just
So
be safe?
we have succeeded. So we flip the tile over, and we have to do our first battle with the
Dun,
thing.
dun, dun.
So in this room, we find the horrible
Is that
dog
your
thing.
dog? Or is
He's
it
right there.
your dog? Okay.
Come on. He's
No,
hanging
that-
out with me.
You were in a room with the dog. I saw it. All right. Now,
Clark was human after all.
in order
Yeah,
to
out of
fight,
curiosity, could you like help? I don't know.
I'm back in the record.
He's in
You're
the
left
record, he's,
behind.
like, playing
I'm just
video.
like, oh, oh, who's a good boy?
Screaming
Who's a
and
good boy? Did you
flamethrowers.
hear something? No. Oh, who's a good boy?
all right. Sometimes some of the monsters may appear to be members of your team. This is the reason to mistrust. This is not the only reason to mistrust, folks. The thing is crafty and it can absorb DNA from many sources: old clothes, food containers. It can imitate any being it comes in contact with, even at a microscopic level. When a thing chip is revealed, place the appropriate thing mover, one of these tokens, in the room, and the team on the investigation must immediately contain the threat by battling it. To resolve a battle, all members hand in a card to the pool, much like resolving a directive for an investigation. However, in this case, the supply cards needed will have to have high dice values. So you'll notice that each of your cards has a different plus dice value on it. All right? Have to have as the captain will need to roll a particular combination of dice to successfully resolve a battle. It is normal to discuss these contributions, but as before, never physically reveal any card. High dice value cards are good, but the captain can only use a total of 6 dice, so large teams may easily reach the cap. The captain shuffles the pool, thoroughly mixing up the cards, and then the captain looks at the pool. Any sabotage cards that are introduced at that point are revealed and must be dealt with before the battle, or the battle will fail. Then the captain may swap any one pool card, discarding it to exchange it for a fresh one from the supply deck. The pool is revealed and the dice value of all the cards is totaled. No more than 6 dice may be rolled total. After that, the pool is discarded. In order to defeat the first level of the thing, you have 3 rolls to roll 3 of a kind. All right? The dice are rolled, and the captain chooses which, if any, so Yahtzee rules, you want to keep after each roll.
So you would roll like this.
I'm so good at bar dice, though.
It's like,
You mean so you already got 3 of a kind on the 3s?
Well, no,
and then the 3s.
So you have, and then you can keep those and re-roll the others, whatever you want, to get in order to get 3 of a kind.
Okay.
All right. So now those of us who are on the mission need to say we contribute. Kelsey, I can only give you a knife at +1. It's the best I have. So that is
They
what
have to be outside of these supply cards as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're fresh supply cards.
And we get new supplies throughout the game.
Yes,
Okay.
at the end of every mission, we will refresh back to 5.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then the idea is that we want it to be a higher number or
We
a
want to
lower
get
number?
to 6.
Yeah,
Okay,
you want
the
to try to be
dice
able to
now.
roll all 6.
Gotcha.
Because that'll give me a higher chance
So
of
right now
getting
you've
Exactly.
added 1. I mean,
Yeah.
I can add 3.
You can have 3
It's
dice.
this one. We gotta put it face down though.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you might say you could add 3,
Oh,
but
and
in
then
fact
I'm
add less
kinda
if you want.
Yeah.
If we fail, we cause damage to the rooms. We can light rooms on fire. Rooms can lose power. Things can, all kinds of bad things can happen.
All I can do is
There's
add
a lot
1.
against us right now.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, I like it a lot.
So right now, if Christina's added 3 and I've added 1,
I've added 1.
so that makes
And
that
I-
5.
I have 2
So-
plus 2, so I'm in. Oh, actually, you know what? I
If you
might
have a
say
plus
that.
1.
Yeah,
I
save
might
that.
save
just
that.
If you have a +1.
Yeah, if you have a +1, you can throw that in there, and that would make the 6 that we need.
Who's your +1?
It's the thing.
It's the thing. It's the thing.
Here's my +1.
Okay, so now
He's got like gel though somewhere.
shuffle these cards
on his
all up and
face.
down, and then flip them over.
Okay.
If there are any sabotages in there, you play those immediately.
Well, everybody's being nice right now, so we
Good.
just have our full 6 dice.
Great.
Looks like we got a
Evidence that
knife,
This is the thing.
copper wire, flashlight, and gun.
Okay, that means that we have our 6
First
points.
one is
setting
this-
you up really
Yes,
hard.
she's like really trying to put it
And I
out.
should have practiced
I know.
it all week.
What?
I say,
So-
no, here's the thing.
I will say this though. The first time I ever played this game, I tripped my hand like way too early.
Oh,
And
no.
people knew from the start that I was the thing. You kind of want to wait till like everybody's gone on missions to start like sabotaging
that makes
and
sense,
stuff.
yeah.
All right, Kelsey, so you get to roll the 6 dice. You have 3 rolls, Yahtzee rules, to try and produce a 3 of the kind to defeat the thing.
Nice catch.
Re-roll that one because it fell off the table.
All right, you have 2 3s and 2 6s.
What do you want to try to go for?
How many rolls do you get?
3 rolls total, so she
I
can
mean, it
re-roll.
doesn't matter value.
It doesn't make any difference. So
No.
now you
Correct.
re-roll those dice, trying to get one more 3.
I'm done.
There's another 3. You made 3 of a kind. We successfully defeat the dog thing. That goes on our thing. Now all we have to do is find a rope in the same sector, and we can move on to the next sector.
Okay.
Cool.
I
Makes sense?
get this. This
Alright.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When
Yeah,
a person is
It
left
starts to make sense as you go.
Yeah.
When a person is left behind in the rec room, they may discard one of their supply cards and draw a new one. When they discard their supply card, they could do something like discard a sabotage to be like, hey, I don't want to sabotage you. or they can get rid of a crappy card and get a better one.
I do want to.
Do they have to show us which card they discard?
Yes, because it goes face up in the discard
Yeah.
pile.
So then, if you really wanted to be sneaky, you could pretend to discard a sabotage if you were the thing.
Exactly.
But since I only have like low shitty cards, I'm getting rid of a flashlight.
Okay.
Nice.
You might want that later. I'm just saying.
All right.
Oh, I have more.
Oh, okay.
I have
5 flashlights.
Yeah, I have
That's
like.
actually why we didn't bring you a glass. You only got 5 flashlights. Like, I don't really know what he's gonna do.
Look at
I'm just making the dog run around like chasing after the light. I got all my lights.
It's cute though.
Oh, that's the best.
Having succeeded, we return to base. After resolving the investigation, all characters move back to the rec room. Any players who remained in the rec room...
Okay, we can move on this.
Rec room during the turn and draw as many supply cards as needed to return to 5 cards. So if you... Yeah, go ahead and draw. Everybody draw from the supply deck until you have 5 cards in your hand.
Jesus.
You may spend more cards in a turn than just 1 or 2, and as a result may end up with...
Sorry, that was just.
Just like a perfect
Jesus!
Okay, cool.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. I thought it was fantastic.
I just realized that I sounded like my grandpa.
Then,
Captainship passes.
yep, Kelsey, you pass the captain to Christine.
Grandfather.
Yes.
You pass the captainship to Christine, and Christine flips over.
I know how to use a gun.
They have good triggers. Good trigger.
Excellent trigger discipline.
Because I rewatched Plan 9 from Outer Space the other day.
Oh, I love that.
And there's this one character who just like he holds his gun and he'll just like do this, and he's like scratching his head and he's like pointing at people with it. It's like holy crap!
Please no.
And always has his finger like wrapped around the trigger instead of like on the.
Why are you like this?
One of the things I love about My Hero is all the time that they show police, they have super great trigger discipline because they're all Japanese too, so they're like all of them just like super really good. Not even a finger on the trigger, just like super down the way.
It's always over here.
Right.
Stop or I'll get you.
All right. So
Okay, so
Christine,
now- okay.
flip a mission log card.
Alright, Captain.
One more thing to keep in mind. Your character
Right there.
has powers. You can use those anytime during your turn that you are the captain. So be familiar with what your character can do for when it's your turn to be the captain.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Card before entering a room, so we can all draw an extra card if you guys want to do that, and then we can re-roll any 1 die.
So
So
sometimes,
you can do one or the other.
yeah, you
One
can
or
do
the
one or the
other.
other. Once
Okay.
per round, you may do one of the following.
Okay, I think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
You need to pick 4 to 5 of us, so you can take 4 or 5 of us, and you need to take 1 of each discipline. Our objective, everybody puts a card down, we reveal all cards. If at least 4 of the cards have +1 or more value, we succeed.
Okay.
So all we need is everybody to be able to give us a +1 or better.
Well, I need to bring you along because you're the only blue player.
That's true.
So, I hope you have something good to show.
I definitely have something helpful.
Okay.
I also have a +1 I can contribute.
Okay.
I have only +1.
Oh, okay.
All your things are good.
Well, then it says 4 to 5. You want to come?
I mean, it's completely up to you. I definitely have several +1 and even a couple more.
I think we should all go. I think it would be fun.
Okay.
A little adventure.
So
I
pick
think
a
it'd be
room.
nice. Whoa.
You know what I mean.
And dinner, please. So then, let's see. I think it makes reveal cards for at least 4 +1 dice value or more. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think it would make more sense for us to all draw a 6th card? Or does that seem kind of pointless right now and I should hang on to the reroll any one?
We could potentially fight the thing again. I think that since we all seem to have a +1, that's a
Makes
pretty
sense
easy
to-
objective. I would
yeah.
hang on to the reroll.
Okay, cool. Alright, so we need a rope, right?
That's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
our goal is to try and find
And these
a
are
rope.
randomized, they're not like logical,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
there's no,
Um,
they're totally randomized.
Okay. Let's
I
go
just throw 'em on the table
to
and
the mall.
Let's go to the
Let's go to the common room.
All right.
We'll fit there, okay?
So the whole group of us move over to the common office. And when we arrive there, we find a rope.
Oh.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I fucked that up. We have to do the mission. That's my bad.
Well,
So
Yeah,
re-randomize.
I will re-randomize that. That is totally my bad.
okay.
I got ahead of myself.
Just really
Yeah, because that could change like how people like play because they know it's there.
exactly.
And they're like, well, I'm the thing, so I'm gonna sabotage this. I had to think about who the bad guy was.
Hello, all for glory in chat, lurking around.
Ow, ow,
What's
ow.
good? If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Also, Dave, apparently.
Thanks for
you're
joining
ratty.
us.
Yeah, so if everybody could just look into a camera and say, "Hi, Kevin."
Hi, Kevin.
Thank you all for humoring me. All right, so now everybody has to put a card in that is a +1 or better. So I'm putting in a knife.
I am also putting in a
Do I
knife.
put something in?
Yes,
Yes.
you go in as well.
Putting in a flashlight so that we can see when all these knives start stabbing us in the back.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna put in a fire extinguisher.
I wish I hadn't said that.
And we need to
Yeah, I was
have.
fine without that.
You need to have 4 +1s or better.
And you guys are all for sure putting in +1s because I have like more petri dishes than I'd like, so I could use this as a way to get rid of them.
You could.
But
You
I'm
trust
also
us.
risking
But,
that
yeah, I
with
was
you
gonna say,
guys.
do you
Risk of
trust-
failure.
It is a really big risk. But also, I feel like right now maybe
Where's the
this-
fire thing?
I'm not feeling very risky. I'm gonna put in a knife.
All right, shuffle those cards up and then
All right.
flip them over.
So I have this problem. I don't know if I told you guys this before, but I have this problem where like I flip over cards I'm not supposed to flip over. It's just like a problem I have.
I will do my white male job of being loud and directive.
Okay.
So I'll make sure that we keep everybody on task.
Okay.
Mom.
Okay,
Like-
so now I flip them over.
Yeah, flip them over.
Okay.
Alright.
Reveal.
So the first thing we
What's
check if
party?
anybody's have put a sabotage in.
No sabotage.
No sabotage.
Any nerds? No nerds.
It looks
Okay.
like everyone here is not a nerd.
We did it.
Oh my
All right.
God.
So everybody, we succeeded.
We would have had a rope, but
Please be a rope.
We got it. All right. So
All right.
Really
people in the
excited.
office are like.
that's dynamite.
Oh, sorry.
Dynamite instead.
Like,
All right.
What is
So now the team
I don't know your
has a
human
rope.
rope. Wait, I mean your rope.
I can just write
Exactly what the
just
thing
regular
is.
rope.
So Kevin, Kelsey is our Kurt Russell for the group. She is playing as good old
McCready.
McCready.
Here, let me move
I
everybody
said
back.
Mick Ready.
All right.
I'm
Everybody-
McReady.
Well, he is
The
Kurt
Boy
Russell,
Scout.
and he's always ready
Always
for action.
Mick Ready.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Everybody draw cards till you get back to the correct number. We have now passed into the second section, so I need to just check rules and make sure.
Bloody
Oh,
tits.
yeah.
What did you
I
call me?
forgot about
Bloody tits? I just said it as a swear, though, not.
That's a hell of a nickname.
All right. When
that. Yeah, you know, old bloody kids.
Got all of that.
How would that? I wasn't sure how that nickname came about.
when a
You don't want to
sector
know.
when a sector on the objective tracker, which we've just done, is filled with all the requisite rune chips, the next sector is unlocked.
Yep.
For
we're
the
in
investigation. Unfortunately, this also opens the Outpost 31 staff to up to possible contagion
Yes, so
by
we
the
do
thing.
have to-
Titties.
When they first unlocked Sector 2 and Sector 3, the group risks assimilation. The captain deals 1 card from the blood deck to each player.
Well, I'm not the captain, but still.
Well, it doesn't matter. Players mix up both of their blood samples. Players pick up both of their blood samples, mix them up, and then return 1 facing
Wait a
down.
second. Give me those back.
Well,
Oh, I
I have
don't
a
know
really
what
quick
it was.
question.
Because I messed
So
something up.
flip,
So
go,
should I just
look at
look
your
at
own
the-
cards and,
There were,
and
for
keep,
some reason, there were 5 human cards
So
instead
should I
of
just look and
4.
see?
yeah, just look and keep
Yes.
your original one
Okay,
and
that
get the
answers
other one
my
back.
original question.
Sorry
Which
about
is
that.
it possible
fine.
that like
I thought I had done it
right now
so-
before these cards come out that like all
Okay.
of us are fine and none of us are the thing?
No.
One
No,
thing
one
card
person.
was
Will-
dealt
Yes.
out.
Okay, for sure be dealt. Okay.
Yes.
So the
now
captain
we
deals-
can either
The captain deals 1 card
someone who's double.
from the blood deck. So just to verify with me, Chris, the blood deck as you have it right now
has 1.
has 1 thing and
And
4
4
humans.
humans.
Correct.
That
Okay.
was the problem before. For some reason, there were 5 humans. I thought I counted out correctly. But
Well, I'm glad you got that worked out.
yes, because I'm like, all of a sudden I have an extra card, and I'm like,
Oh, no.
So,
all right.
so we could have somebody who's either has
two
infection cards, or we have two
No,
things.
hang on.
Yep.
The captain deals one card from the blood deck sample to each player. Players pick up both of their blood sample cards, mix them up, and then return one face down.
That's
You-
Oh, so we have to
new.
do it without
I didn't know that.
looking
You don't
at
get
them?
to choose
Yeah,
which one you're
you don't
returning.
get to
That's
choose. You
random.
take your 2 blood sample cards, mix them up, and then because then we can potentially have another. So you could actually have a thing in the first round be
That is no
not
longer
the
the
thing
thing.
the second round.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I
that
didn't
is
know
how that
that.
works.
It's a healing thing.
We've actually been making the game a little harder on ourselves
Yeah.
necessarily, but also. All right, so then everybody returns one card face down to the blood deck. We will do these again when we go into Sector 3. Now everybody should look at their own card and determine their circumstance. We're gonna and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna reveal to the audience again. So I will start. So all y'all close your eyes, and I will start.
Also, there's a lag on the stream, so we definitely need to hurry, hold our gaze away for 30 seconds.
Okay.
That's
So
a really good point.
I am finished. Janelle, it's to you.
Okay, this is me. Your camera. There you are. Okay, there we go. Eyes are closed.
All right. So camera, here I am. All right. Eyes are closed.
This is I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be now.
My turn.
Yeah. No?
Yes, it is your turn. Sorry.
It's alright. I was planning on singing "Born This Way." Alright, this is me. Okay, my eyes are now closed.
Okay, so
Okay.
all of our eyes are closed. No one look at the stream.
All right, I think everybody
But
can just.
we can just.
Or just
we
don't
can-
Yeah,
look at the
just
stream.
try not to look at the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I fucked that up actually.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, you are supposed to. If you're dealt an imitation card, then you're supposed to keep it and put your human card back. But that's fine.
Just keep playing, and then we'll.
You know
Whatever,
what?
it's fine. We'll do it.
We could ask chat
Chat
if
does have a
some.
question.
It does. We could just ask chat if somebody had an imitation.
All right,
Well,
so
or
They
chat.
can
we
just
could
confirm
just
yes or no that if somebody
Pass
did.
the deck around to each other, and the person who had the imitation originally could just take the
Oh,
imitation.
okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if we're just gonna pass the deck around, and
Everybody has to look through it.
yeah, that doesn't
Well,
really
close
help.
your eyes.
Everybody-
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do. Here's
That's
what we'll
true.
do. Everyone close the eye. Fuck, this isn't gonna work.
Everybody close your eyes and we'll
No,
pass.
everybody give me. Everybody put your cards face down in the middle.
Okay.
Everybody put your cards face down in the middle.
Here, in the
Yeah,
stack?
just in that stack.
Okay.
Everybody put your cards there. I'm gonna mix them up so
I'm
that we
gonna
don't
be
know.
so upset.
No, I'm gonna mix them up. We don't know who's the thing, right? We have no idea who was the thing.
No idea.
Now,
Well, the thing had an idea.
right? We'll pass the deck around, and you
Stop
will
talking
take
about
a
yourself in third
card
person.
That you had last round.
that you had at the beginning of last round,
Okay.
and that way we won't know exactly. All right, so
Yeah, because it'll be hard. I mean, man,
It'll-
we really
it'll
have
be
to go
harder, that's
tricky to figure that
yeah.
out.
So I should
Chat
take the
knows,
card
but
that matches what I had.
what you had before at the very beginning.
What was
Should
your
we pick out
first
both
identity?
Like the one we
No,
got
just take your
first?
original card and we'll
Okay.
reset again. That's my fault for doing that. It's my
Don't
bad.
even worry about it. This is
You
totally
are so
fine.
good.
This
It is
easy
hard to
fix.
be both a scientist and a game master. Wait, you're co-op. What are you doing? What does Copper do?
He's a doctor.
Oh, it's hard to
You're
take
co-op.
care of everybody while you're taking care of everybody. I feel like
Plus, Dave's character has the best quote in the movie too.
I don't know.
this is like
Oh no, it's not Copper. I'm thinking Gary.
Hard
Yeah,
Sorry,
part.
I'm
you
thinking
gotta be
First-
fucking
No.
kidding.
Well,
That's
goddamn
my
legal
favorite quote of the
winter.
movie. All right,
I don't
now.
want to spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch.
True. That is Gary. Now I'm gonna deal you each a card.
So we're gonna do this one more time.
Yeah, we're gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna deal you each a card.
I will be upset.
If you are dealt
I was
an
wondering if you're
infection
upset.
card,
What's your upset face look like?
you keep your infection card.
Okay.
If you are dealt, if you have 2 humans, you stay human. If you have 1 infection, you are the thing. If you have 2 infections, you are the thing.
So no matter
That's what I
what,
thought.
you have
And then you
infection.
return one of your 2 cards back to the blood deck, but you only return your human. You return a human card if you're human. You return a human card if you're half the thing, and you return an infection card if you're not.
Right. So
you
in
just
other
stay-
words, if you were given an infection card, you got to keep at least one of those infection
Exactly.
cards, no matter what.
So
Okay.
that works out.
So everybody has to hand in a card.
Yes,
You
everybody,
never
because we
know
have to
what-
have the blood deck repopulated.
Well, I mean, we still have cards here.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Everything is fine. Everything is
good.
fine.
So now we know that. Now we've dealt that correctly. All right. Now
Super short show.
I am
Big captain.
the captain. I am the captain now. Okay. And I'm gonna flip over our. All right, a 5-player team. We're all going.
All right.
We do not have 2 blue, so we cannot do this mission. So I just flip over another card, right?
Or do
think
we
that's
automatically
right.
fail?
No, I don't think we automatically fail.
That would be too hardcore for Antarctica. Like, come on, dude. Like,
There weren't even enough people.
well, they
Oh my
have some
God.
people.
How did you not have enough
I
people?
mean, like, I could try and become ops. I'm already a pilot. It wouldn't be that hard to, like, just
Sure, right?
bring that shit inside and try and be something else.
I can be whatever
I think I could remove his spleen. I'm not sure. But
I'm willing to try.
if I could pilot a helicopter,
One of
I'd
the ops
probably do
people's a
it.
freaking cook. I can
Same.
cook.
I did show my students all of the cool stuff on like the Shackleton's hut in Antarctica. If you guys know what that's about today, I like walked them through. Like you can do like a virtual tour of the hut and stuff. It's really cool, and I took
Okay.
them around Antarctica.
So we just do the mission as standard. It just doesn't give me any choice about who I bring with Mr. Knox. So we just do it. All right. So we're gonna go to the kitchen.
All right.
All of us are gonna go to the kitchen. All
many
right.
cooks.
Our goal.
Yeah, like you're standing in the mess hall. Like get in the
true.
kitchen.
Um,
oh my god.
We're gonna each of us is gonna put a supply card down. We're gonna shuffle the supply cards and then reveal 3. If at least one is a gun, we pass.
Well, I
Wait,
do
what do
not
you mean?
have
Don't
a
have a
gun.
gun.
What do you mean we? Oh, pass like
We
the
succeed.
challenge.
So you are. So everybody needs to get. Does anybody have a gun?
I have no gun.
Me neither.
I
I
also
have
don't
no
have a
gun.
gun.
I have
I
no
think there are no guns.
There was a
So-
gun before, but
I mean, you have a gun right there.
I used
It's not a useful gun.
I think
Jeez.
that's what you're thinking. Or,
use it.
yeah, because that was the.
All right.
first
So
three.
actually, I am going to use my power on myself to let any player hand in 2 supply cards to the pool, and hand it. No, I guess I can hand it in extra. That doesn't actually help. Never mind. No, we're just going to have to fail and deal with the consequences then. So everybody, this is a great chance to throw away a bad card.
Oh yeah,
No.
Petri
If you have a
dish.
bad card,
See you later, Petri dish.
Get ready to
Go
throw
into
it
the
away.
room
My
that
bad
they
card.
can start throwing
All right.
dishes
So
at
what
it.
literally happened
Wait.
here?
Oh, wait, give me my card back. Because I thought
You'll
we
be
were just
surrounded
throwing
by
away
Petri
cards.
dishes.
that's
I already put a card in. So,
Oh,
Oh,
right,
I get
okay.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were
Just
Yeah.
in
doing that so
general.
people didn't know what we were throwing away.
So,
Sorry.
basically, 5 grown men went into a kitchen with a bunch of petri dishes and then left. That's literally what happened.
All right,
They
look.
got wrecked by the thing.
4 petri dishes and a flashlight. No
flashlight.
guns.
Science.
All right,
Got 'em.
we have failed in our mission.
No shit.
So
Failed spectacularly.
let me get to the.
How are we all men in America in the 80s and none of us have a gun?
Well, one of us has a gun, but he refuses to use it.
If they do not meet the mission requirements of the directive or were derailed by a sabotage card, the team fails. And you move on to step 12.
Step
Well,
12.
smoke and
After
fire.
the investigation, if an individual was sent to the room, blah, 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 blah.
So there's
Okay, so the
smoke
first
in
thing
there.
that happens
Taxes, like
is
CY
the
12.
Okay.
the bad counter moves once toward calamity, which
Okay.
means there is now smoke in the kitchen.
Smoke
my God.
in the
Ooh,
kitchen.
After resolving an investigation, if an individual player was sent to a room to deal with smoke or fire, they can discard a fire extinguisher face up before returning to the rec room. Then any remaining smoke and fire tokens in the room now resolve. So, does anybody have a fire extinguisher they want to discard to deal with this fire?
What
I
does
have
that
nothing
do?
but
If you
shitty
don't
cards.
discard it, eventually it will flip over and cause the room to be burned, which will make a bad thing
Not
happen.
for me.
Okay, so Janelle is dealing with the fire. Okay,
Currently saving everybody's
Say-
life, no
we're
problem.
good there. All right, we
She's
all
just like-
return back to the rec room, and then
Like Hail
everybody
Mary.
draws back up to 5 cards, and I pass the captainship.
Go ahead. Why?
Kevin says, considering the level of danger you're all in, that kitchen trip was a poor use of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure why we did that, but that was.
We needed snacks.
Okay, yeah.
We didn't show, we
Doggo
didn't
got
show
hunger.
the chat our new.
that's okay.
After, okay.
We'll
It'll.
Just
it'll be
It'll
fine.
add to the suspense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chat
Alright,
will be
let's
like,
see.
who is
Now-
it?
now
Who is
we
it
need
after?
to
So you flip?
Crap. Power outage in current sector.
Okay, roll a 6-sided die. Room
So
3,
it's
the
this
mess hall, has a power outage.
So do we put the card there?
I think
I think
so.
there's,
No, there's-
Oh yeah, there's a power outage
Yes. so
card
that goes
there. So that means that the power's out in that room, and we can't go into that room unless
Unless-
somebody uses a flashlight.
I have the flashlight.
Hey!
All right.
So then, am I? So
That's not the
then,
noise of flashlight.
is that like my whole? Like,
Well, when
do
you
we
make,
do that in place of
like-
the mission? No,
No.
draw a new mission.
You have to draw a new mission.
Okay.
So
So my
So
captain
many
power.
flashlights.
yes.
I do.
Is
I have a
to
lot of
Look
flashlights.
at the top 2 mission
I have
cards,
shitty
place
cards.
one in front of me, and bury the other.
All right. So you can literally pick the top 2 of them up,
Nice.
pick the one you want to do, and then discard the other one.
I think I'll do that. Alright, so
Okay.
I'm using my captain power.
Cool.
Wow, this sucks. Ask me why.
Holy crap!
Oh my god.
Fuck.
So just discard those and do that again.
No, what? She has to choose between one of those, doesn't she?
Well, yeah, I guess she does.
Alright.
All right. So
I'll
So-
choose the
Wait, are they
power
just like
outage.
not?
And now you have to.
Yeah, they're exactly the same, right?
yeah, there's just
Okay.
3 in a row that were identical. So room 1, the sleeping quarters.
Alright, so now
Anybody else have a
I
flashlight?
have the flashlight!
All right, there's flashlights again, and then
It
draw
wasn't too much of an
another
exaggeration
card.
to say that I had like 5 flashlights.
Alright, 3-player team. Shuffle, then reveal a random card. If it is copper wire, you pass.
All right.
Alright, who's got copper wire?
I am both your blue and I have a
Yeah,
copper
so you're
wire.
coming.
I actually have
You
copper wire.
I also have copper wire.
Alright.
I have a knife.
You have to bring me and
We got
one
a
other
wire.
person in addition.
I mean, we could, I don't know, melt it down. I don't know. Maybe it's copper
You
knife. I
both
don't
have
know.
copper wire? Alright, let's
Yeah,
do
take them, and then I can get rid of
Me.
the card.
Dave and Kelsey. Okay. So drop your, I guess for my sake, drop your supplies here.
Copper wire should go there.
And it's just us
What
three,
room
right?
do you want to go to, by the way?
Oh yeah, I should probably choose that. No, it's only
Oh, no.
4 people.
Oh, I thought
Only,
you were
yeah,
taking-
only
No, we're
3.
gonna-
It's only a
gonna-
3-man
Oh
group.
yeah, only 4 people.
I
I'm sorry,
think-
3 is a number. Okay, so I want to go to. I think the kitchen's a bad idea. I think we had a bad time there. So, as a geologist, I'm gonna say we go to the geology lab.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you
Alright,
just can
hi
hang out
friends.
and
This
play with
is
my popper.
this is my house.
Yeah, heck yeah.
This is where I
I look like
hang
I'm
out.
throwing something for the pupper to touch.
Gotta shuffle the cards
Alright,
and
gonna
flip them
shuffle
He's
over.
a hacking
Did
cute
I-
boy.
He's a hacking
I hope I
cute
did.
boy.
You should, because there are 3
Okay.
players.
Freaking
Yeah.
sweet dog.
Yeah.
Wow, are you guys having a nice time?
Oh, that's so great.
He's so nice. So
Alright.
fluffy.
And then you reveal your card.
Alright, if none of you lied, there's a 100% chance that this is the copper wire.
Hey.
Copper wire. We succeed. So,
One of you's full of shit.
Dang.
No.
Cool.
what were the other
Wait,
2
what
cards?
the fuck was the other card?
There was a
Dun,
sabotage.
dun,
Who's a
dun.
punk? Who's a punk?
I
One
would
of
just
you-
like to point out
I
that
brought you
I'm
guys
still
to
in
my
that
house.
room.
Yeah, look at us over here playing with the
I
Well,
brought
how do we know
you
it's
to
not
my
fucking
house.
that? How do we know it's not fucking you? You could have put it in there.
Because I brought you to my house.
Oh, the
We are
paranoia starts.
now.
The paranoia starts.
And interesting, as soon as
So
the
then-
sabotage happened, the
No,
thing
you only had to
appeared.
rebut. You only
Yeah.
had to reveal one card, and
Right,
you
so
didn't
then it's
reveal the
just a pass.
sabotage, so the sabotage gets discarded.
So nice try, punk.
So
Why are
it,
you
it goes
like
into the
this?
disc. All right, now we have to fight
like you're the punk.
thing. So the 3 of us in the room have to contribute cards to
fired.
fight the thing.
And one of you is buddies with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously I'm getting very little help.
All right, Janelle. As a
Meanwhile,
Human.
we're just like,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know.
I can give you a knife with +1. That's the best I've
A
got.
knife with +1. What you got?
As a human, I can give you a Molotov cocktail with +2.
Alright, that better be a Molotov. Alright. As captain, I am giving us a knife. No, that's not true. I'm giving us an axe. I obviously don't know my weapons very well. Do I shuffle and reveal?
No,
or
it's a
just
sharp
shot?
thing.
You shuffle and then reveal all 3.
you alright?
Yeah.
That's my axe.
Axe.
That's my Molotov. That's
All right, so that's
Alright,
5
thank
dice.
you. Good job.
So with
That
5
was like
dice,
covering.
Someone
you have 2 rolls to get 3 of a kind on 5 die.
You can roll them in this
I will.
area.
Wait, 2 rolls? Because
2
we're
rolls.
in the second.
Because it's harder in the second
Okay.
area.
So you
That's 3 of a kind. You did it.
On the
You nailed it. All right, we beat the thing.
Got my house.
And then we return.
What have you guys been up to?
So we were back in the room, so we can discard a card.
Each of you can
Okay.
discard one card and draw a new supply card.
This bad boy.
Ooh, Chris throwing away a sabotage.
And then I have to draw
Trying
back
to
up
fool us into
5.
thinking he's not the thing.
Excuse me. I was back with the dog while the thing was revealing itself.
Yeah.
Alright, so,
So-
you draw back up to 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then pass the captainship on?
Yep, and then pass the captainship on to
Much better cards this time
to
around.
Olsen,
Full
the Olsen
sabotage.
thing.
Just all 5 of them.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And now I have the gun. Ah! Alright.
I've got the nug. Frasier line, but everything's fine. I will do
All right,
one
Chris, flip
every
that shit.
episode. Don't
Okay,
worry.
alright.
Very good.
Alright, we ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, 4 to 5 players.
Big end.
Reveal all cards if at least 4 have exactly 1 dice value you
Exactly
pass.
one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus 1. That's
All right.
so
So
easy
you have to bring me. I do have a +1. I can give you a knife or a fire extinguisher.
Hopefully you're not the thing.
I can.
You have to bring one of us. I have a +1 copper wire.
I don't think you should bring Janelle.
That's rude.
I also have a +1.
So particular.
I
She
actually
was
have
one of the
2
3 people who
+1s.
came on the last
Yes, and
mission.
so was Kelsey.
Yeah, but I.
There's no chance for me to be wrong though because of the fact that there's no yellow.
I will
So like there's
say,
no fact to discredit me.
like, I'm a bit sus
So-
of Janelle. I just
Sus.
feel like I just get the
you guys
vibe
did-
from her
Wow.
that she might have been doing
Wow.
some
You guys are
sabotage.
gonna feel really silly later.
Are we?
Sabotage.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And whoever's the thing is like.
So.
I mean, you could have
You did
taken
that
us.
well,
You said you took us to
so-
your home turf. You could have done that to throw us off this time.
Yeah, you took us to her home. Who was there for the thing?
Alright. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Oh.
Pick a number between 1 and
Use
10.
your instincts.
You were right on because it was 3.
Nice.
So you're coming, and you're coming.
Alright. Enjoy not having my copper wire
And
then.
I'm throwing in a knife.
I'm also giving you a knife.
I have copper wire, so I'll give you that.
I will also
Alright.
give you copper wire.
Alright.
I don't know why
I
I
would
was
like
like
to
partial
point
on my
out that
flashlight.
probably whoever's the
Oh.
thing, who is absolutely on this mission, because it's not me, probably is not throwing in a sabotage right now because it would be so obvious.
Well, we'll find out.
Good strat thing.
Should we go to the bathroom?
Unless they want us to
Super
Let's go to the
really
bathroom.
The bathroom.
All right, we're going to the
We're all
bathroom.
gonna go to the bathroom together.
So much
So
is
bringing
I really have to pee.
Clark.
Yeah, let's go.
and we're also bringing Ben.
I like it. I like that it's all
To the
these
back.
like grown
All right,
men.
flip your cards.
It's really scary.
Reveal
Guys
all
wanna go to the bathroom with me?
It's dark in here.
Alright.
Reveal all of them, and they all better be +1 exactly.
Vulnerable place to be.
But
With our pants
Yeah.
down, 2 knives, 2 copper wires.
fucking told.
You notice we left Janelle behind, and there was,
And there was no sound.
Hey!
I literally said that.
So, all right. So go ahead and flip the token. Dynamite! We have made it through segment 2. We're moving into area 3. All right. So as we transition into area 3, so Janelle, you can also discard a card and draw a fresh one if you
And I
want.
have to draw a
Alright,
fresh
and I need to
card.
draw some Russians.
Freshen.
All right, I'm going to deal everybody a blood sample card. Same rules as last time apply.
Do I have to discard?
You do
another
not
one?
have to.
Okay.
You can if you want to.
Alright, so I'm shuffling these and choosing one. Correct?
No, you are looking at them. You're
You
looking
have
at
to.
them
Yeah,
and
you have
choosing
to,
one.
You have to, if you get infected, you have to stay
Yeah,
infected.
it's
That's
literally
basically the rule.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
we're putting one.
And then you put one back after
Okay.
you've done that. You know, Janelle, maybe you're right. Maybe you're trustworthy. I might believe you after all.
Well,
All right.
if she picked another like imitation card, then it wouldn't make difference whether
Maybe,
or not.
maybe you're right. That's true.
It also sounds like something you would do if you just became the thing,
Should
and then
we-
all of a sudden you're like, I should trust Janelle more.
Should we go to the bathroom?
Or
Or do you want to just
No,
like
no,
wait
I
and
think for
start?
the sake of brevity, let's just
Yeah.
keep the game rolling. Because we've actually gotten to segment 3, we could legitimately win, or
Yeah.
at least get to the end.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of fun.
Complete.
So Kelsey, you are
I'm the captain now.
you are the captain now.
It's the only joke that is continuing through the rest of this game.
Le Capitan.
This one first.
Oh
Ooh,
no!
All right, so roll a d6.
Smoke in the current sector.
All right, so there's smoke in room number 5 in the map
Big
room.
room.
I'm just gonna go ahead and fire extinguisher it, so we just don't even have to worry about that.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot to draw one of my cards last, so I'm down to 4. But okay, so now flip another card. All right, 4-player team.
Dave's
And I gotta bring Dave again.
All right, reveal all cards if they all have plus dice values of 1 or 2. All right, so you do have to bring me. I can give you a fire extinguisher at +1. And I have a couple of axes, which we can use to fight the thing if we run into it.
I actually
Can I
have.
choose my room yet? Sorry.
No, you can pick your room whenever you want.
I
Let's
have.
do the greenhouse because I'm romantic though.
Okay,
Oh,
who are
that's
you going to
really
bring?
nice.
What 4 players are you going to bring?
So I have +1 and +2.
That's what I was
guess
gonna
it kinda
say.
depends on what we need.
I also have that.
I have
Not
a +2.
really.
I
You
have
have
an
a +2.
axe.
Okay,
So
well,
we
That's all I
can-
can offer. You have my axe.
I guess I can give you.
you can come along just for that reference.
I have a 1 and a 2.
Where are you?
Right
I've
there.
got 2 1s and a 2, so it's really just whatever you don't want.
And what do you have?
I have the same thing, so I can
Okay.
also do whatever someone isn't doing.
No, I don't trust you now, so you can come along.
Nice. I'll just stay behind and
So much paranoia all of a sudden.
alone.
You don't even put a cover. You
I'm
can't
so sad. I'm just like doing really cool poses with my axe in front of the in the reflection of the pinball machine. Like, I'm really intense.
Like you're practicing your scary face.
I'm a big tough guy.
Big toughy and not scared
All right.
by myself.
So everybody add a 1 or a 2 to the
I
pile.
am.
I
That's
did.
really funny.
Yeah, my axe.
I put a fire extinguisher in.
Let's see here.
So wait,
I'm
what
going
do we still
to-
need?
We need any card with a 1 or a 2.
Any card.
Any
Oh,
card
okay.
with a 1 or a 2.
It matters
Giving you a
not.
one.
I do.
Which one are you giving us?
Flashlight.
A flashlight.
Yeah, I believe it was a flashlight.
You believe it was a
Can I
flashlight?
look? Now I'm really gonna remember. Yeah, it was a
You show
flashlight.
up.
Okay.
Just so
As long
everyone
as you're
knows
sure.
that I'm trustworthy and say what I mean, I'm
No
gonna clean my house.
changes.
All right. Shuffle those bad boys up
I'm gonna bring my
Flies right
axe.
out.
and then flip them over.
Yay, look at us.
Are all
succeeding.
1s and 2s?
Oh my
Oh, that's so
goodness.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, great. Flip the token.
Please hurry back. It's so scary in here.
The thing.
Ew.
All right.
It's the Blair
Now.
Monster.
Each of us needs to contribute cards so we can fight the thing. I can give you an axe for +2.
I can give you a gun for +3.
I bet you wish
But
I
I
was
also
there with my
have a gun for
gun.
plus.
I mean, otherwise it's a 0 petri dish. So
Give me the fucking gun.
just throwing that out there.
Do you need me too?
Yeah,
Okay.
We can only make a total of
plus
6.
2 dice.
All right, so that makes 7. So do you have a dead card you can give us or something low? Because we don't need
Can
more
I
than
get rid of
that.
my sabotage card? Would that
If you
affect
do
us?
it though, that'll sabotage the
Oh
group.
shit. Okay, so okay, can't do that. I guess I'll just do my extinguisher because it's the lowest amount of cards.
Perfect. All right, flip those. Shuffle and flip.
Alright. Who brought what to this party?
Everybody's just being super nice right now.
All right, great.
Down
So
to a gunfight.
you now have 6 dice. You can roll. You need to roll.
3 of a kind of
You
two.
have 3 rolls to get 4 of a kind. But you have 2 things you can add. You have your captain power, which your second captain power should be reroll a die or all die or something.
Mine is add +1 or -1 to any one die. So if
Oh,
it has a
okay.
face value of like 3 and I needed 2.
And we have a use of dynamite, which does the same thing.
Nice.
Oh, interesting. If we use the dynamite, do we have to get more dynamite to escape?
Yeah, we can collect more dynamite
Okay.
than we had. We have to get the dynamite to get into Sector 3.
Okay.
It's possible to find more dynamites before you find the thing. We only found 1 dynamite, so we
Okay.
have the 1 dynamite. We don't have to keep it to escape. We just
I
had to
see.
get it to get into Sector 3.
I see. Okay.
So go ahead and roll your first roll. You're looking for 4 of a kind.
So we blew some shit up here.
1, 2.
And then if you used your captain power to make that 1 a 2, you would succeed.
Yeah.
All right, we beat the thing. All right, pass the captain
Wait, so we
token
got
and
rid
let's
of-
do it again.
The dog one, right?
Like
Yep.
pass the gun.
So
This
I'm
is
gonna
just
put
a
these
fun.
alone.
Yeah.
And we got rid of the head one too.
Or
We
one
just
of
have
these.
one of the human ones
I
left.
think.
And then I can choose to discard if I want to.
Can I choose
Yes.
to discard if I want to?
No, because you came on the
Okay,
mission, you
but
just
the
draw
mission,
back up to
okay.
5.
I'm just gonna-
Oh yeah, I need 2 cards too. So. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were.
No, it's totally fine.
fine.
Totally fine, no worries.
My bad.
Okay, so it's I'm
Yep.
the captain.
Oh my god.
Okay, 4 to 5 players. Players.
Players!
Alright, so I need one of all of you. We need
Oh,
2
we
fire
also need-
extinguishers or 2 Molotovs. So
I don't have
I
either
have
of
a
those
fire
things.
extinguisher.
I have a Molotov.
I
have
don't have
either.
either of those things.
Yeah. You
So it doesn't sound like there
okay.
are. What does your first captain power do?
So all team members draw a 6th card before entering a room.
That sounds like a good plan
Why
at
do
this
we all
point.
do that?
So
Oh, well,
everybody,
you have to choose. So
you have to
everybody
choose who's going to be on the team. Are you
I'm gonna
putting-
say everybody comes so we have
Perfect.
the
So we have a
highest
better
chance
chance.
of, yeah.
I found a Molotov.
Excellent.
Is it fire extinguishers the other one?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to
Okay.
have exactly 2 fire extinguishers. Well, 2 or more fire extinguishers or 2 or more Molotovs.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
a fire
If we needed copper wire, I got you covered.
Okay.
But other than that,
Well,
I got nothing.
So I'm giving you a
Sorry.
Molotov.
so just give us something nice and
Okay.
don't.
Everybody 3.
I have a fire extinguisher.
Okay, so we have a Molotov and a
So
fire
each-
extinguisher.
I'm giving you my petri dish just so I can get
Okay.
rid of it because
And I'm gonna put in a
I have no reason to
Molotov,
have
or
it.
I can do either one. So,
Well, I only have a Molotov, so I would.
so why don't you
So
put
put your
that in
Molotov
and I'll
in.
put in the fire
Which room
extinguisher.
do we want to
Yeah,
go?
and then
Let's
I'll
put
get.
in a Molotov.
I put in a Molotov.
Okay.
So then that way we'll have 2, and then you
Yeah.
put in an extinguisher. I'll put in an
Yeah.
extinguisher in your petri dish. Is
Which
that correct?
room? Yes.
Which room are we going to?
Yeah.
Of the lumber 3 rooms
Oh,
There's the laundry room, the radio room, map room, and the storage room.
and the
let's go to
specimen
the
room.
math room.
All right, the map room. Take us all over there.
Oh,
Sure,
shit.
lit on fire last time we were there.
Okay,
Here.
shuffle and reveal.
We're all just packed in there. Oh, hey, I can't
It's
really
like,
see.
can you get that map? Which map? This one over here.
Yeah, hold on to the elbow.
It's still too many cooks.
Okay, so then I just reveal.
Yep. Sabotage.
Who's a punk?
All right, so we have to resolve the sabotage first because we would
Who
otherwise.
said they were
Fuck
giving
you.
fire extinguishers?
It was Janelle and Christine.
Christine's the thing. Straight up, Christine's the thing. I'm telling you right now.
All right, Captain.
You have to be because you're the only other person that said you were going to do a
Now,
fire
hang on.
extinguisher.
We can resolve the sabotage without losing
I
for
feel like you
sure.
planned this so well. I'm like so angry and grieved, and like you literally were like, it was Christine the whole time. And she was the only other person that was gonna do it. Isn't that mysterious? I'm like,
She went to
I literally
the
don't
mission
even
and there
know.
was a sabotage that time
I
too.
love this game. So
I know, and
much.
it's just like, what the hell, Janelle? You're clearly the thing.
All right.
I can't.
Captain, can you discard from your own hand a card with a minimum value of +2 or +2 dice, so or better? So do
Are you
have-
just asking me
yes.
that?
If you do that, we defeat the sabotage and can carry forward.
So it needs to be 2
or better.
or better. Okay, so I can. So if it's a 2, it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Throw it in the discard.
I can do it too.
Only from her
Only the
hand.
captain, okay.
So the captain has successfully defeated the sabotage, and we have
Weird.
2
She's really
Molotovs,
good about
which means we do pass the objective.
You're literally doing like evil right now. Like so in a manipulative situation.
I am so.
Christine, go ahead and flip over the token in the room we're in.
Well, it's
and
just a
see
picture
what
of
it
Christine
is.
doing the thing.
All right. So
So now we just have to kill the other thing.
So do we need to do that by like finding the thing, right? Like in the
Yes.
yes, we need to find the last thing. So the token comes
This
to
is very
me.
Scooby Doo of us.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as the captain of the turn, I am going to suggest that we use one of our 2 charges of the flamethrower to do a blood test on Janelle.
All right,
Hell yeah.
go for it.
Is everybody in agreement with
Sorry,
that?
what was it? What was it?
We have 2 charges on our flamethrower. My vote is that we use one of those 2 charges to do a blood test on Janelle and know for sure.
You're not it.
Yeah,
then we
no,
know who
that's
it
why I'm
is.
like, go for it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right, are we good?
Yeah.
I want unanimous
Yeah.
and everybody.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
we are
Yes.
using the blood test. Oh, Janelle is not that thing.
She's like really tired though.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the captain, I am now.
That would be something a nervous thing would do.
Knock over soda. Good thing I didn't knock it over.
I am now going to suggest. I want to vote that we use the rope to tie Christine up
Oh my god.
and leave her in the rec room.
Yeah.
Everybody agree with that? All right, you have been tied
Alright,
up.
let's try losing this game, folks.
All right.
Just know that Dave might
Yes.
be sick.
I feel like I'm getting like a
orchestrated.
lot of orchestration from Dave and also a lot of silence from Chris.
Just trying to
You guys enjoy
suggest
losing.
what we should
That's
do.
fine.
It's a thing again. It's
Clark
fun.
was a very quiet character. That's all.
All right, 3-player mission with, and we have to bring myself, so I'll bring some other people, and then we
Wait, do I
have
just
to.
not play anymore?
Not for the next time, the next captain can vote to untie you if they want to, and we do that every round.
Wow.
So I need a 3-player team, and we need to make a total value of +4 or more. So I can bring a knife to my own thing. So I need at least a
have a
+2 and a
gun.
+1. You have a gun?
I got you with copper wire.
All right.
Here's like
So Janelle,
Copper wire.
I know I can trust
I went through the
What
building.
can you
and I
bring?
pulled out copper wire.
anything that I like to
I can make easily like $50 off this stuff.
Shit's going down. I'm getting all the
So
copper
Kelsey,
wire.
I still trust you, but I'm gonna bring Janelle and Chris on this one as a way of kind of testing through, I think.
Good.
So
+2, okay.
a +2 is great because Chris is gonna give me a copper wire and I'm gonna bring a knife. That makes 4.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to the specimen lab.
Of course,
Me.
I know.
And
And that's
since
like,
he's the
I
only
literally
blue,
think
that's
that
the
that's like
hardest
a
thing.
thing because I feel like that
I
would
am
be the easiest way
definitely
to like.
not the thing.
That's
exactly what I think was
I
there.
am definitely.
I have been
Suspicious of you now.
on the up and up. Everything done. All right. So let's just check this and see what happens. So that is, hey, copper wire, an axe, and a knife. That's +4. Let me flip the token.
Oh, I could have done that for you.
That's all right. Oh, we found another flamethrower. All right. Before,
What if they're
Alright.
both the things of working together? Because that's why he was like, I trust you. I'm gonna go test
You know
out
what?
these nerds.
let me make a suggestion then. I will use one of the charges on our double flamethrower to blood test myself.
Okay.
Are you all in favor of that?
Wait, do I even get a vote? I mean, I
Yeah, you get a vote. You get a vote.
I'm
Who did I listen to?
I say yes!
Please, anybody but me.
All right, so we'll use that, and I will reveal the fact that I am definitely human.
Come on.
So you know you can trust me, you know you can trust Janelle. We're the only two people we know for sure we can trust.
Getting that.
To be like that.
And I think
But
you
I
should
think,
just do
okay.
You could still lose though if you leave behind a human.
No, if you leave behind a human, that person loses, but the rest of us escape.
So is there a way for
That's
somebody to just
fucking
be like,
shit,
I don't
that's
trust
the thing
any
that
of you,
I think
I'm getting
that's-
on this helicopter alone.
Captain, so the captain has to take a certain number of people with him. I think it's a minimum. We'll get to that when we get to the end.
Okay.
All right, so now we pass the captain and we do the next mission. Those of you who remained, unfortunately because you were tied up, you do not get to exchange a card from your hand.
I need another card.
So Kelsey
Even though
can,
I have not 5 cards.
you can draw up to 5,
But you can't exchange.
but you can't exchange one for staying behind.
I'm gonna exchange a petri disc because that's no use to us right now.
Okay.
All right.
Next mission requires 7 people. Damn. Alright.
So go ahead and flip over the mission token, unless you want to use one of your powers.
That's what I'm thinking.
Since we have to fight the thing, I do like holding on to rerolls, but
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna hold to it. Okay.
Oh
Smokiness.
all right, roll the d6.
Hotboxing.
Sorry.
Constantly.
I didn't even say where. Just tell me. Oh my god, who is hotboxing the map room? Literally, we just finished
The fucking
the thing.
pilot.
Does anybody have a fire extinguisher they want to use to put this out?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I do not.
I do not either.
Do you have a fire extinguisher?
I do not.
Okay, so we're just gonna
Not
have the
that I
smoke's
would
gonna
be
be
even
there.
allowed to help you.
Draw another token then.
Somebody's a little bitter.
It's me.
Yeah,
I just smoke follows me.
Who's been hotboxing the map room?
Now, one more thing. Depending on how many failures we get when we get to the end, we get blood tests before we go on the end. So we might get enough blood tests to be able to test a couple more people before we go on to the...
So we need a smoke in the laundry
All right,
room.
a smoke in the laundry room. That's unfortunate.
In the laundry room.
Flip them again.
Alright, 3-player team.
And you need to bring a green.
Shuffle, then reveal a random card. If it is a knife, you pass. Alright, who's got
I have a knife.
I do not have a knife.
I definitely
I
have a
do
knife.
I can't help
Right
you
now,
with a
I have
knife. Don't bring me. I'm not in
I
the...
have a knife.
I have a knife, yeah.
You have a
Actually, no, yeah. I have a
She's
gun I
also
can
tied
give
up.
you for fighting
Wait,
the
am I still
thing.
tied up? Oh.
Yeah,
I
because
haven't chosen.
as the captain, she has to initiate a vote to decide whether or not we untie you.
So you have a knife.
I have a knife.
Do you have a knife?
No, I don't have a knife.
Girl, I got your
I have an
knife.
axe or
You have a
copper
knife?
wire.
Girl, you know I
Yeah,
got your
I don't have a knife.
And you also know I'm not
You
the
would
thing.
risk-
That's why I'm so
literally
mad at
don't
you.
fucking know that.
Later, I'm going to give you a 5-point lecture on why you're wrong and will always be wrong.
That's some great pillow talk. It's like, you thought I was the thing.
Do you want to be
Please
my
look at
giant
my
around?
Yes.
You joke.
All right, who are you bringing?
Alright, it's gonna be.
I put in
Alright.
every single thing that I've had so far.
I know you have.
Yeah, but that would be what the
Alright.
thing would say if they were trying to escape. Just throw that out there.
Yeah, 'cause we
Okay,
have to make sure
so
nothing does
my
this.
assumption is that I have to untie Christine if I want her to come on the mission,
Yes, you do have to untie her if
It
you
has-
come along.
You
can't
just
reroll
grab
onto
my
that.
knife
Nope.
and leave.
Why?
By the way, I plan on. It's kind of like
Wait, what are your
metaphorical
powers
that
as a
I'm using
captain?
my knife to get
So,
out. Like,
Question:
no,
is it
it's
too
cool.
late for me to use my captain power so that I can draw something else?
Nope.
I'm gonna do that then. I'd rather save.
All right, so you can draw.
So yeah.
You can do the other one.
Holy shit.
All right, have to bring a
All right.
yellow.
And we need to get plus 18 in dice value.
I have a gun.
We have to roll. So
Yes,
reveal
roll.
all cards. So everybody puts in a card. Roll dice equal to their total plus dice value, and if you get 18 on the die, you can pass. I also have a gun
plus
I can
3.
contribute.
Plus 3,
Axe
plus 2,
Gun plus 3.
plus 3.
I have a Molotov plus 2.
You can only bring 4 people, so you have to leave somebody
I
behind.
guess you're not leaving.
Sorry, you're staying home.
What room are we going to?
Okay, so we're gonna go into the radio room.
Okay, so move everybody.
I'm gonna throw in a gun as well.
Why am I? Where shouldn't I be like in the room that I'm dying in?
No,
Yeah,
we're
we
we're
tied you
leaving. We
behind
tied you to
the
the
No,
wall.
maybe
couch.
put you in front of the TV.
All right,
So the rest of this winter.
all right. So everybody put in
Alright, so
My gun.
gun,
gun.
Axe.
Alright. And for I think for challenges you can roll more die.
And I will just say too that like I'm just putting this out there that by nature of me tied up to the couch, the thing has a very easy out to never sabotage and just continue on as normal and get on that plane.
Yeah,
And then everyone's like,
it's
well, it's just
true.
going to be Christine
It's
because.
true.
That's why we're trying to save some blood tests.
Yeah. Oh, okay. that
Succeeding
makes
because then we
sense.
can blood test 2
Gun.
people.
Axe. Gun. Everyone is full of
All right, so you get to roll.
900 different dice.
Yeah, I think you
Just
get.
roll the maximum 6.
Let me
I
check.
think so.
Let me check.
Who brought an axe to a shotgun fight? Hey, hardcore.
Chris is here to win.
No more than 6 die may be used for a roll. However, we have dynamite, which can add +1 to the to a total of a die.
And we can just choose that after I have it.
Yes, that's
Or
correct.
-1.
Yeah, if we want 18, so 6,
That was
10,
10.
15, 16, 17, 18
Yep.
Oh, what's
on the die. So, flip the token.
Victory, son.
Rope.
All right, we found a
Tie
rope.
some shit up.
It'd be better if your catchphrase was, "You want to die?"
All right, let's try. We're running a little low on time, so let's try to keep
Yeah.
things moving so we can try to get to the
How do
end.
we take? We gotta. Are these like running the risk
Don't
of
forget
being on fire?
Catch up.
Yes, yes. They do. Let me do that.
Everybody draw back to
Um,
5 by the
Yeah,
way.
draw
If there are
back
any
to five.
smoke tokens that remain, they turn into fire tokens. So they are now fire tokens. If
Because I'm
next
tied up,
round
though,
they will
can I
become
not?
destroyed rooms and they will move along the tracker.
Okay.
Can, no, she can't discard
Yeah.
That's right, sorry.
All right,
You
so
got a flamethrower?
let me.
Flame.
You mean
Not a
a
flamethrower, a fire extinguisher.
Was it that
I
was
do
something
not
to
have a
think
fire
with,
extinguisher. I did not draw one.
Well, you know,
I have a fire
extinguisher.
extinguisher.
You do?
I do not have a fire
She has a
extinguisher.
fire extinguisher.
Do you want?
So.
Do you want to
We
untie
have-
her?
Should we
have rope.
untie her?
We have rope to retie if we need to.
Alright, who wants to
I'm
untie
just saying. I'm
her?
not saying use.
I vote we untie her.
I vote we untie
that
too.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
Alright, Christine, if you fucking lie.
Now, Christine, do you want to choose to give us your fire extinguisher? Having been the ungrateful
No.
souls that we are.
Wow.
No, I didn't even know that was an option.
You do not have
I
to
love
discard it.
saying no to this right now.
Why didn't you say that before we decided about
Guys, I'm not
untying her?
giving you my fire extinguisher. We all die together in here.
Okay.
I feel like that's definitely a thing.
So it's a 4-player team.
Love that.
Reveal
that's
all
an
cards, roll dice equal to their total dice value. If you get a 17, if you get 17 or more, you pass.
I can give you an axe for 2.
I can
Give
give
me
you
an
a ball
axe.
for 2.
We only need
Offer
6,
two.
so don't overcommit because we might have to
one of my
fight the
copper
fan.
wires and get one.
Hey.
Kelsey, can you bring a 1?
I don't know what we're doing.
We're-
yeah, I
Do
can
you have a 1 or a 2?
Yeah.
You only can bring 4 people though, so you
I
have
know.
to think who you
I'm
want to.
thinking.
Okay.
I have a knife or copper wire, whichever.
That would make 6.
What do you have?
I have both a 1 and a 2. It's a knife and a. Oh, I guess they're both 1s. A knife and a fire extinguisher.
Alright,
That's fire extinguisher.
You won't
I
fucking
name
use it to
addresses.
save us, you thing.
but I'm taking you 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm still unsure
Yes.
as to which one of you 2 is the thing.
Are you sure
Because
you're
it's
not
not-
deflecting?
I was gonna say, are you sure?
This is literally always the thing
I am
according to
absolutely sure.
legend.
So
Okay.
I'm throwing the copper wire.
That's an axe.
Urban
An
legend.
axe, a
Urban legend.
Molotov,
Alright,
What am I
we're
supposed to be giving you
What
to
do you
help?
wanna give me? Knife
Anything
or
for
fire
an
extinguisher?
a knife.
knife. Alright.
All right. Flip that shit.
Well, I gotta.
shuffle
So
it around and
now,
then
but you
flip
guys
it.
realize what an issue this is? No
we're
matter who
going
plays
into
the
the
sabotage,
storage
you won't
room.
know between
It's
the two
true.
of them.
We're going into the storage room.
Yes, we're going to the storage room. So let me move
So who,
all
I
of
see your
us.
point.
But
Both of
Creedy.
you could be the thing.
I would never be the thing
Okay.
if Janelle was the thing.
All right.
I would not want to be the thing with
No
you.
sabotage.
All right,
no.
sabotage. So
All right, so
Roll the dice.
roll the dice and see if you can make
17.
17. That is a poor roll,
That
Chris.
is a poor roll. So
How far from? So
I'm
what?
holding on to the 4.
Do you have a captain power? Because you
Well, I
don't
can
get
add 1 or 2.
you don't get to re-roll on this. You just roll
Oh, I
it one
don't?
time.
Okay, so I got
what is our
yeah.
total?
7, 9,
17.
11.
12,
I don't
13.
even-
What does your second captain power do?
Well, my first one is I can draw the top 3 cards of the supply deck when swapping and
Okay.
look at them, but I can only add 1 or minus, plus 1 or minus 1. To
So
the
you
dice.
can add +1. We can add +1 there. That makes 13, 14. That's nowhere near 17. I think we just fail that.
Yeah.
I think you're right about it
Wow.
not being near 17.
That is really
Not
unfortunate.
happening.
Okay, so we fail that. The condition tracker moves, and that room is destroyed.
Oh damn.
That room
Wait.
is destroyed.
Yeah, that room is destroyed. So take the token face down and put it over there somewhere.
Please don't be the fucking thing.
Okay, and then you pass the captain to Kelsey. Before, does anybody have a fire extinguisher they want to use?
I just got one.
Noise.
So, because I just got one with my draw.
Oh, wait, do I
You get that before. You have to use one before you draw.
So,
So
well, then I can't do anything about that.
then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to tell you because so actually, Christine, it's up to you. The library room is the last token
The
on the
laundry
board.
room,
The
yeah.
laundry room. If you don't use your fire extinguisher, we lose.
Yeah, I don't want to use it.
Okay, we lose.
Oh yeah.
The laundry room is destroyed, and the last token is removed, and as a result, the attempted escape from thing cannot happen because we do not track down the final thing, and at the last moment, we all fail to escape.
Yeah. So, shall we reveal?
We shall.
Now, let's go one at a time.
All right.
And I just want
We're-
to point out,
Yeah.
I knew he was.
I was not the thing.
I mean, I know you
Alright,
two.
yeah, we're still
human.
Ah, I was right. Oh, they're both in. Oh no!
I knew it. I knew
So
it.
at what point did you guys figure out that each of
I didn't know, but I suspected, but that's why I didn't pick on her, and I tried to play in a way that never like made her seem like she was. I tried to like get it on you, and
Yeah, no,
then
she really tried to get it on me.
That's why I wanted to blood test you to make sure.
I think I knew like concretely when she decided not to give us the fire extinguisher.
Yeah,
It was like very obvious.
It's like, oh, well, and I thought it would maybe play off, or it was like maybe I'm mad at you guys or something.
It was a good decision because it was after we had used the second charge of the flamethrower. If we hadn't, we can torch a player and then see whether or not they're the thing. So we decided, having used that, to do a fucking blood test, and then you're dead.
Wow, I'm glad to see that you guys
didn't
really
get to the blood test part because I was like,
Which
shit,
again
as soon as
is
I get to the end, I'm gonna be done.
because people do get killed for not being the thing.
I'm just like I'm glad that there isn't like an in the middle, or I'm surprised that you didn't immediately accuse me of being the thing because we went on a 3-person mission and we both are human.
But two blood tests, 2 blood piles had happened since then. So even if you were the thing then, I had to be sure Janelle wasn't. I was confident that you were both the thing.
Oh, okay.
When we got to the end, if we had 1 blood test,
You were gonna
I was going to
test
leave
me?
Christine, test you, and go because I was confident the 3 of us were human.
So did we win?
Yes, you being the thing won.
Hell yeah. So, this game is great. I love it a lot.
Me too.
I like how mad Janelle got at me. That was one of my favorite parts. I hope I just like clips of
I had
that.
that moment where
Yes.
I was like, I recognized the look on your face, and I'm like, fuck. And substantiate that, I just
Because it's
know
just
you
like a
saw
partner
that.
thing.
Like a liar.
I know what that means.
Well, and I just want to point out too that I just ordered a new game that may be here by next week, and I sent it to you called Video Vortex. It's by the same
Looks so good.
company that made this one.
Oh,
So
That's good.
And the 2 games that I was suggesting is Arkham Horror Call of Cthulhu Mysterium, which is similar to this.
Yeah.
But it's everybody working together to defeat. Yes.
See how
Yes.
those on it?
Yes. And then the second one was Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yes.
Which we have on the schedule.
Yes.
We are playing Betrayal at House on
So
the
you
Hill.
will have to come and join us for
I
that.
love that one a lot. It's one of my favorites.
There's a link for you to sign up and RSVP for specific shows.
Okay, I will do that.
I'm cold.
No, it's
I
not
got
chilly
my
up here.
boots on. All right.
And, you know, it is like I forgot to say this at the beginning of the episode, but it is a very appropriate day for playing the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Given
it's
that
really
cold and
set
chilly.
in this
Yeah.
desolate Arctic wasteland.
Also,
Known as Wisconsin.
the World Health Organization did like a press conference earlier to provide like a full scope update on coronavirus. So
Yeah, really rocking
There
it.
you go.
So
very
I'm
thematic.
glad everybody enjoyed this. I think this is like one of my favorite board games I've ever owned, and I highly recommend a watch of the movie before the next time we
We should
play.
have
Yeah.
we should have a watch.
That would be
I
good.
think that would be really
together.
dope.
Good.
So
That would be a good thing to do.
So next week, what are we playing next week?
Well, for sure we are playing a game from my youth. So a long time ago, called Thunder Road, which is another paratextual game because it kind of it's not based on Mad Max, but it kind of evokes Mad Max.
Nice.
And if it shows up on time, we will play some Video Vortex, which just came out. It'll be brand new. We'll all be kind of learning how to play it together, but it looks fantastic.
So that's going to be super awesome. So everybody make sure you take the time to tune in. This video will be on YouTube a week from today. Actually, a week from today. It's not a whole week, minus one. It'll be next Wednesday. It'll be up on YouTube. Our Valentine's Day special, which was dope as hell, just hit YouTube. Make sure you check that out. Give that a like. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Twitter and Facebook and our other social media. Thank you all to my wonderful guests for coming on again and being here on Board Meeting. As for this, that is Board Meeting signing off. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.